Hi everyone, it's David from eClub. So today we're going to do the third of my skills videos, and it's going to be how to make a white sauce, also called bechamel sauce. This is a really sort of common sauce in cookery. It's particularly French and European cookery. So it's pretty simple to make. Although you do need to know the techniques to be able to do it properly. And the main thing you want to avoid here is having lumps in it. Great, so ingredients are butter, flour, milk, salt, pepper and bay leaf. If you were going to use this for a dessert, for making a dessert, say if you were to do a sweet souffle, if you were doing another type of dessert, I can't think what it would be right now, you'd subtract the salt from this. And you'd also subtract the pepper and the bay leaf as well. But this is for a savoury dish, so we want to infuse some kind of flavour into the depth of it. So, equipment wise, just a pan, heavy base saucepan, wooden spoon. That's pretty much it. Pretty much all you need. Although I've also got here a tablespoon measurer, which you're going to use for measuring flour. And yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. So what I've done here is I've started to melt some butter, 50 grams roughly of butter. So that's melting down. And once that has melted, I'm going to add, so it's quite a thick bechamel, this one, because I'm using it for the base of my souffle. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. I think that if I was making maybe a lasagna, I'd use slightly less, but this is the recipe I've got, so I'm going to crack on with this. So, straight in there with the flour on top of the melted butter. That looks pretty good actually on second thoughts. And I'm going to stir that in. So I just want to stir this until it has incorporated and the lumps have gone. Disappeared. So it makes me think of making fudge. If you ever made fudge, it just happens to look quite similar to this. But it goes a kind of cloudier, thicker consistency. Not really much else to say other than that. As soon as that's mixed in, that's good. I'm going to, at this stage, going to season it. A little bit, not too much salt here actually, because I'm going to put, because it's the cheese souffle later on, the cheese will be quite salty as well. But I am going to put some pepper in at this stage. So, finely ground pepper. Give it a nice base of flavour, aromatic. Stir that in now so it's incorporated. You could put nutmeg in if you wanted to, that would be quite nice. I'm not going to do that on this occasion. Right, okay, so you can see the sauce here is smooth, very runny at this stage, and it's, I'd say, golden in colour. Right, and then now what I want to do is I want to gradually add the milk. Don't do it all at once. Start off quite slowly, add a little bit more, and then by doing it slowly, you make sure it is incorporated. If you do it too quickly, you'll find that the mixture goes very lumpy, and it's quite hard to get rid of the lumps after that. What's quite strange here, you go from a quite wet consistency to quite a dry consistency, despite the fact that you've added liquid. I find that quite surprising. As soon as it's mixed in evenly or incorporated, you can then add more. At this stage, you find that it goes quite like scrambled eggy, or it's a bit like sort of raw cookie dough, or not sure how else to describe it. There's a chance that it can even separate at this stage. but if you keep going, the milk will gradually bring it back together. And essentially what's happening here is, the principle here is that you're using the flour to thicken the milk, to turn it into a sauce that will sort of cling to the food. And it kind of brings the food, whatever dish you're creating, it brings it together like it's a sauce obviously, but it sort of ties things together through the consistency as well. So keep stirring that, and you'll see, you might be able to see it's quite a low heat that I would like it to be on. Okay, pretty much 2/3 of the way there, and at this stage I think it's right to speed up a bit. Just make sure you keep stirring to avoid any lumps. Stir. Just tap the spoon here to get a bit of trap on the spoon, and make sure to work around the corners, the bottom corners of the pan. Okay, and now I'm going to put all of this in. This has been carefully mixed up at this point. Just put all of that in. Stir, and I'm going to turn up the heat. I'm going to add my bay leaf, which is another aromatic flavouring, and that just gives, like the pepper, a depth of flavour to the sauce. Okay, so I've turned the heat up, and so with it being turned up, I just want to make sure I keep stirring it all the time. At a certain point, after a little while, it will start to thicken up, and that is when I suppose probably the gluten in the flour is cooked, and that binds everything together. If it's not the gluten, it's just the flour itself. It's cooked, and that brings it all together. So yeah, just work around the corners. The hottest part of the pan can often be the corners down the bottom. They're the bits that can be missed, and the sides can be quite hot as well. So you can sometimes find things cook at the side of the pan faster than in the middle. I'm not quite sure why that is the case, but it's something to look out for. You use this sauce for macaroni and cheese as well. It's another common use of it. Fish pie, another one. Just gonna come over. So it's white, pretty white. It's called a white sauce, quite pale. Bit of yellowness from the butter and the pepper perhaps, but very liquidy at this stage still. Okay, I think it's beginning to thicken up now, which is good. I can tell it's getting hotter. I can see some steam coming off the pan. I'm not sure if you can. So it's reaching that cooking point for the flour, which will bring the sauce together. You can hear that when you lift it away. You can hear the water evaporating from the sides of the pan because it's quite hot. That's looking really nice. And most importantly, no, I'm going to turn it down now because you can find it runs away with you a little bit. If you cook it too quickly, or at least if you don't stir it and you don't cook it evenly, then you will get lumps again. And those lumps just don't really taste, they're not really very enjoyable to eat, a bit of lumpy bechamel. Okay, so consistency has changed now. It's definitely thicker. You can kind of see how this would bind bring together or stick together the ingredients of the dish. Okay, so yeah.